In today's flip lesson, we'll be looking at long answer exam question technique. So what are we looking to achieve when we're answering a long answer question in your exam paper? We're looking to have a more structured answer to the question, gaining the higher order marks, providing clear introduction and conclusion, and using your knowledge to develop simple statements. As you can see here, we have an example mark scheme. To gain 1 to 2 marks, you need to identify a few key points. At least one of those points must be described in detail. Points will be superficial, generic, and not applied directly to the linked situation of the question. Candidates writing communication ideas use everyday language, but lacks clarity and organisation. Moving on to the 3 to 4 marks, a few key points are described. Consideration of more than one aspect and more emphasis on one of them. The answer to the question is linked but not always clear. Candidates writing communication ideas with accurate and the use of appropriate terminology, and the organisation of the response shows some direction. There will be a few errors in spelling, punctuation and grammar. Marks 5 to 6. This is the area that we are looking to try and achieve. The range of points described. There are a few key points explained in depth. All sides of the case are considered, and the answer is well balanced, giving a weight to all aspects. The majority of the points made will be relevant, and there will be a clear link to the situation of the question. This is really important for you to take note of. Candidates writing communication ideas effectively using appropriate terminology, organises the material clearly and coherently, and spelling, punctuation and grammar are accurate throughout the response. Here is an example question from the previous mark scheme. Chloe is a good all-round sports performer and could represent her school in many different sports. Discuss the key influences that could impact on Chloe's choice of physical activities. Here you need to identify key aspects of the question. The first one is discuss. The second is key influences on Chloe's choice of physical activities. Here you need information on the key influences. What are the key influences? You then need to discuss these and how it affect Chloe taking part in a particular physical activity. So what do we need to know in order to be able to answer the question? We need to have information around the topic area, definitions from the topic area, and examples. This is where we apply the knowledge of definitions and the information around the topic area. So how do we start to answer the question? Collect all the relevant information. Use your resource books, textbooks, exercise books, and the internet. You also need to understand some key words that may be used in an exam question. Discuss. Explore the topic given reasons for and against. Explain. Make clear, interpret in detail more than 2 ideas. Compare. Look at similarities and differences between topics. Evaluate. Judge the value or effectiveness. Include your personal opinion and support this with evidence. Once we have gained all of our information and we've looked at the key words within the question, we can then start to plan out our question. Introduction. Here you would write a definition of the key word. For example, what are the key influences? Do not, in the essay, start, in this essay I'm going to write about. This sentence starter is a waste of your time and will not gain you any marks. If need be, bullet point the information you need for the question and then briefly state a summing up sentence. Once you have planned out your answer, you need to then expand your answer. Your bullet points you will now turn into sentences. Add examples to your sentences. This will change your statements from a simple statement into a developed statement. Ensure that you have used the correct grammar and punctuation, and then finish off your answer with a concluding sentence. What is a simple and developed statement? If you look below, we have colour coded the simple statement, then the developed statement and extended developed statement. Chloe could be influenced by people. Developed statement, these people could be family, peers or role models. And then extending that, her family may all play tennis, and it is likely therefore that Chloe will be influenced to play tennis by the exposure she has had to the sport. Another example from a different question. Power is speed times strength. Developing that, power is important to a javelin throwing as it enables them to generate more force so the javelin can be thrown further. Extending that further, this will enable the athlete to be competitive in competition. Finally, you would check over the mark scheme. Look at your question. Have you approached this in the right way? Have you got a range of points described? A few key points explained in depth. The majority of your points are relevant and clear and linked to the situation of the question. Have you used good terminology, organised your material clearly, and had correct spelling, punctuation, grammar throughout your response? If you have done this, you are likely to be moving into the bracket of 5 to 6 marks. Now if you have listened to this flip lesson, what I'd like you now to do is to complete your long answer question. Feel free to have the flip lesson open and keep referring back to the stages in which you need to complete your homework this evening.